let's lead off with Splatoon, which to me was a high point because they started talking about Salmon Run, which is a sort of horde mode. It's a PvE mode that's in the game. That's great because it was very light on single-player content the first time around.
Sure.
How'd you guys think it looked?
I mean, Splatoon, or Nintendo as a whole, is one of those, like, we haven't had a lot of games that support a horde mode-ish mode on a Nintendo console. You know, there's stuff like, Halo, Gears, Uncharted. These all have those sort of things. It's cool that a tentpole Nintendo first-party game is getting that, because horde mode like that is awesome. So I'm really stoked to be playing
I found the art direction at this level very fascinating on a Splatoon level, because usually they're sort of bright and neon and energized, and this is dark and grim and
like gross.
It looks like a fish, like a really sad fishing show. Like, I like it.
No, and there's a grim apocalypse to Splatoon that is not mentioned except in like text form.
Right.
I feel like this is the first time they've actually shown it to people. They also showed like these new enemies, these chum. I like that the whole presentation for Splatoon continues to be this nature special that you just kind of wandered into.
This was like the dark chapter of the nature special.
I
like this a lot, and
they become overrun.
Like we were saying in the pre-show, we want more content that'll work offline. I'm hoping that's what this leans into.
Then maybe you could play with bots. That's a great point.
But you were saying one of the things they really needed to do was sort of differentiate weapon-wise and ability-wise why this is different than Splatoon 1. And aside from the sort of down-and-out ability to revive a teammate, we didn't really get that in terms of weapons.
And I almost wonder if going through the footage again, will we see things they haven't shown before? Maybe. I couldn't tell just quickly watching, but trust us to go through this footage.
There's a thin line with sequels between if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and reinvent the wheel. And I think this is sort of treading that carefully right now, no pun intended, but I really hope that we do start to see this game absolutely define itself as a brand new entry in the franchise, and not what just feels like more cool stuff from the original game.
All right, so then let's lean into ARMS at this point. So ARMS has so Splatoon 2, by the way, is coming out July 21st. ARMS is released June 16th, which is the week of E3 2017.
That's
it's
not
that
great for
Friday.
business.
I don't know how I feel about that. But it is just in time for the spring deadline that Nintendo set when they announced the title back in January. But let's talk about what they showed. So Min Min, a new character who has ramen arms.
And a ramen stage that was set in like a ramen bowl.
Yeah, it looked like a ramen bowl, absolutely. And they showed briefly a 2v2 mode that just looked crazy. And they staged a battle with an announcer that, to me, this went too long. But granted, let's look at this for what it is. A fighting game, a new fighting game at that, is a hard thing to sell because unless you are into fighting games, and I don't know if we're necessarily the fighting game crowd, like I casually kind of play around with different games, love watching my Street Fighter V tournaments and my Smash tournaments, but overall, I'm not sure if this game is going to find that middle ground yet, and I was hoping for more than one character reveal today, and so far all we got was one.
Yeah, this looks like it seems like it's having a little bit of an identity crisis in terms of being a fighting game on, like, are you going to be deep and serious enough to be in the same breath as some of those games you mentioned before and maybe have a place at EVO some year? Or is this more a casual pick up and play, have fun? Like, it has some, like, Power Stone vibes to me, but not quite as party-orientated.
And I think the answer is it's a little bit of both, but it's going to have a tough time finding that exactly what it needs to be. Because I think when you play this game with motion controls, it definitely feels a little more button mashy. It definitely feels a little more casual.
Which is crazy though, because that'll get you beat up so quickly. Like there is a methodology and a meticulous sort of approach to how you have to fight someone. And I do think the first part of this presentation, specifically this fight you're seeing right here, is showing you that. I just think it went on a little too long. It needed a bit more energy. You know, when you think of some other fighting games, this is not to knock this for not having this, but there's sort of a flare at the end, like, oh man, they have their super, it's going to go down. I feel like I didn't really get that here, even though I may have gotten it and just, it happened and I didn't even notice.
I think characters are really going to define this, and if people lock into the ones they really love, you might get a sort of like, I am getting minor like sort of Overwatch vibes from the way
the color art direction,
the way they're sort of overemphasizing the character, which is a very good place to be, right? And the setting was cool, the art direction's awesome, it's bright and beautiful. I just want to see like how this really pans out. Like if you buy this game, is this going to be something that you'll predominantly want to play in single player, multiplayer?
My one worry is that everything I've seen so far, nothing looks bad, but the whole thing seems slight a little bit. Like I just don't know what the meat and potatoes here yet. And that's not saying there aren't going to be. That's just saying that I haven't really seen them yet.
I agree. And I think the 2v2 mode is a smart way to at least get into some of that. I was hoping they would go more into what this game is. Instead, it started with a recap and then led to this fight, which again, I wasn't overjoyed with. But let's move on then with one more ARMS-related thing, which was that they announced a Neon Joy-Con set. a Neon Joy-Con strap.
Yep.
So if you're familiar with Joy-Con pricing, that's $80 for 2 of them. The color's really rad, and then you have also a strap attachment that can go with it for $7.99 normally. At least those are U.S. prices.
Yeah, and
then this thing,
this
sorry,
thing is bizarre.
so this is called the Joy-Con AA battery accessory. This to me
rolls right off the tongue.
Rolls right off the tongue, and it's sort of a thoughtful accessory that I don't think anyone wanted. And when I say thoughtful, what I mean by that is just that they're taking into consideration the folks that play ARMS are going to forget to basically attach them to their system to charge them. So that you don't have to go through the wait. You just slap these things on, you're ready to go. It looks like they attach by the rail, but that's not the thing that drains power the fastest. Well, except when you're playing portably, which is the issue, right? Like the Switch itself needs a battery pack. Did the Joy-Con need one when they last for 20 hours?
It reminds me, it seems like it's for people who want to play ARMS but also weight train a little bit. It's like when Goku does push-ups and double gravity, so you can be playing ARMS with a little bit of extra weight.
No, it's like those guys who are really good at running and they put weights on their legs.
Yeah,
and
like weird dudes.
You don't have to show off. This is kind of asks a question like, who is this for specifically? But I will say that the Neon Joy-Cons are really cool.
Yes,
when we first saw the Joy-Con colors, we geeked out about the fact that like Nintendo is constantly re-releasing different colored 3DSs, but going through that whole process of like system transfers and buying a brand new system for $200, it's kind of not ideal, right? But the idea of here, I mean, Per Schneider, who does NVC with us, he has a whole bunch of different Joy-Cons, and he's like, today I'm going to go double blue. I'll go red.
It's like choosing a tie.
Accessorize.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's cool that this yellow one is very much like the yellow in the title of ARMS. And so that clues me in that I could totally see for Splatoon we get these neon green and purples. For Mario we get red and white, and I think that's a cool movement.
Well, here's the thing, right? No matter how we feel about the Joy-Con AA battery pack accessory, I'm saying it right for the sake of saying it right. I will say though that this is the first time so far with Switch where they've released something that is an attachment to the system itself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This is going to continue. Like I don't know what the accessories will be, and I don't think we could even in our most lucid dreams. But I believe that there will be games that will come out with a specific accessory attached to what it does and why.
Do you remember when the 3DS got the boat? The
Franken
stick boat? I think this is going to be that for the Switch.
Yeah, but hopefully not as garish or as repulsive.
Uncomfortable.
No, that thing was comfortable. It was just ugly to look at. All right, so we had Minecraft Switch Edition is coming May 11th, and that it supports 8 players online, 4 in local multiplayer, even in tabletop mode. You can play 4-player split screen.
That's cool.
And it includes the Super Mario Mashup Pack. Retail version will ship later.
So it includes, right? It's not like, that's not separate DLC.
Yes. No,
okay, it's in the pack.
Included in the pack.
I think that's really cool.
You can buy whatever Minecraft DLC has come out that is cleared. You can't have the Microsoft.
This is undeniably huge. This is one of the biggest video games ever in the history of the medium. It took years for Minecraft to come to Wii U, and I think they were a little late to the party on that. I was glad when it finally showed up to get this, because this is awesome. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I've played like 100 hours of Minecraft. I love this game. And I'm not even like, I'm not a little kid, as you can see, who hunches over a system like that and plays it for hundreds of hours like they did on iOS, Kindle, tablets everywhere. So this could be really big, and it's right around the corner.
Okay, really quickly before we go into some third party, I do want to mention the standalone dock is going to show up at retailers next month, so you can stop raiding the Nintendo Online Store to buy all the replacement docks, which you
can now scratch your Switch screen in any room of the house.
Possibly. So the Switch third-party section, this is where my attention started to wane a bit. Because I feel like even though the variety is there for at least from the genre perspective, Nindies look better to me. Nindies honestly looked better to me. The Nindies presentation the week of the Switch launch was more exciting to me.
I mean, a lot of the third-party stuff I looked at and was like, well, why isn't it more than that? When we got Rayman Legends, I was like, well, why isn't also Rayman Origins and just pack all of them in together?
Well,
when we got
Legends is sort of like a hybrid of Origins. Like it's
both,
got a, but you're right. Yeah,
but then we got Monopoly, and you said immediately, you're like, there are officially licensed like Zelda, Pokemon, Mario Monopolies, like. Put that on there. That would be awesome.
Instead of Monopoly-themed Monopoly.
It feels like a lot of these are like, sort of like, hey, we're figuring out Virtual Console. You're going to be able to download a ton of classic games. Just here's some stuff before that. Like, give us time to figure that out.
So I think it also shows. It just also shows that third parties are taking this wait and see approach.
Yes.
And they're very much going.
That's exactly it.
All right, let's see where this goes. And they're leaning. Some of them are leaning into nostalgia. Namco did that with the sort of the Namco Museum arcade, whatever that thing is called. Sega is obviously leaning into that a bit with Sonic. I mean, Sonic is a classic IP. And then you have Capcom, who's doing it with Ultra Street Fighter 2.
And then you had all those SNK games like. like
you have archives as well.
Yeah, the arcade
so
archives
it just feels like for the majority of third party, they're just leading into old stuff to grab the casual consumer versus new exciting games.
But the great news is that Switch sales are really strong, and I think people are going to that wait and see approach is going to turn into we want to be part of this conversation approach. And I think by E3 and by fall, absolutely, you're going to get some really concrete, legit third-party game announcements. And right now they're playing it safe, and I honestly think that like there's some cool stuff in there, and it's going to help you sort of get through the week to week while you're waiting for the big tentpole Nintendo stuff. But yeah, I want more.
So speaking of that, then let's run down what got announced with a date. Just tell me what you thought. Quick hot take. You got a minute. Don't spend too much time. So Puyo Puyo Tetris, April 25th.
Yeah, I'm playing it now. We'll talk about that next week.
Don't stream it. You'll get arrested.
Okay, Disgaea 5 Complete, May 23rd.
Damon Hatfield is very happy.
Yeah, he's all over that.
Yeah.
Okay, but this falls into the port scenario for me where I'm like, okay, the Disgaea fan or the RPG fan is going to at least be well serviced until Project Octopath Traveler shows up because
rolls right off
the tongue. All right, Ultra Street Fighter 2: The Final Challengers, May 26th. I'm excited for this game only because I'm always excited for Street Fighter 2. I think I bought it every time it comes out.
Yeah, I think
I'm not excited for the Hado whatever mode. I think that's a bit silly for me. But in terms of being able to pull out a controller and anywhere, just drop a challenge on someone and be
play
like,
one of the best games of all time.
There's some interesting new ideas in this. The 2-on-1 mode that they're adding, the new Violent Ken, which spoilers, Ken was always violent.
The whole game is about street fighting.
I still think the pricing's a little much, $40, but we'll see who jumps on that.
Fate Extella is out July 25th. This is a Musou Dragon Warrior style game that just didn't look good.
It really did not look like it looked sort of ugly and garish.
This might be one of those games that looks great when you're holding that screen up to your face, but I think it did not demo well here today.
No, it didn't look good. Project Mekura, which is out this summer. It's the butt-stomping Mies game that they talked about at GDC. So far, you guys don't seem as interested as I am, at least. Go.
I think with a game like that, the hook is that if it's fun to play, I don't care, but the art direction felt like very chibi Funko Pop Master Chief, not wild about it.
To me, it feels like a single Mario Party minigame.
Yes.
And I'm like, maybe you could take that one mechanic and make a hook out of it, but to me, I'm just like, butt stomping isn't one of my favorite things. It's in a lot of my favorite games, but it's not one of my favorite parts of those games.
Yeah, I would not put butt stomping in my top 5 favorite things either.
So Namco Museum is out this summer. Play Dig Dug again for the first time.
Yeah, it's
along with some others. There were some cool arcade games.
I think the cool thing about this thing is the ability to turn it vertically and play in like the original arcade perspective, which is nice. I would like them to sort of put out a vertical stand for the Switch so you can pop off that screen and just play with two controllers side by side.
I like that idea.
Basically set up a little arcade cabinet on your desk.
So Sonic Mania out this summer. Sonic Forces this holiday. Let's just round them together. Sonic Mania looks fantastic. Sonic Forces TBD.
Yeah,
sure. And everyone who's played Mania has really loved it so far. And obviously now we haven't gone hands-on with Forces yet.
So Monopoly is out fall 2017. And like we said, even though it uses HD Rubble in a neat way, sorry, I just don't care. But you know what? That's a casual play. Give them the props for that, I guess.
Yeah, Marty and I were saying like board games are a good look for the Switch, even though like it doesn't seem like it's the best idea, but having 2 players right there with your own screen, it's the kind of thing where you can play a board game on an airplane.
Yeah, totally.
I'd like to see sort of a Hasbro collection. You know, bring more board games.
You don't bring Monopoly boards on airplanes and just like put them up and just like
I lose all the money. It's bad.
Rayman Legends Definitive Edition still does not have a release date, but it is coming out in 2017, and I'm only excited because Rayman Legends is a game I got to review when I first got to IGN. I really enjoyed it. The idea of playing it on the go excites me.
Did you review that?
I did.
That was the last game I reviewed for IGN before I stopped reviewing games.
Oh, you're thinking of Rayman Origins. Yeah, I'm Legends. No, I'm Legends. You're Origins. Wow. That's it.
What if we have 2 reviews on the site?
There might be.
It's called One Up.
So there it is. THQ Nordic is bringing Cinemora EX and Battle Chasers Night War this summer. Cinemora.
I love Suda. That is not one of the Suda games I love.
Okay.
That
being
bums me out.
Grasshopper manufacturer, involvement.
Yeah, and I think the Battle Chasers is based off the Joe Mad comic, which is also sort of the Darksiders design.
The art direction's really cool.
Art direction's cool. I sort of want to see what the game actually
I need
plays
to play it. Yeah,
totally.
my verdict was out on that one, but I did like art direction. Finally, Payday 2 is out in 2017.
That was really surprised to see that.
Genre mismatch, audience mismatch a little because you just don't expect a Nintendo fan to be into bank heists, but that doesn't mean that those people won't show up. That game's immensely popular. We just don't play it.
Yeah, and it's also, to me, like the sort of online shooter thing on a system that might not be online all the time is always interesting. But that being said, it's a cool option to have. Like if you can connect to Wi-Fi and play some Payday, go for it.